Hey everyone, Urban Fish Keeper here, and as promised in last week's video, today we're out at Mad Aquatics. That's them up there. And this was the store that I spoke about where I said this is a little bit of a hidden gem, and I'd never been here, I didn't know about the store. So the owners have agreed that we can come in here and do some footage. So I'm going to try and keep it down. There's customers in here, but I'm going to try and maybe say a little bit less than last time. But I'd like to take you through and just show you what they've got here. I think it's a really awesome store. So if you're south of Brisbane or north of Brisbane or in the Brisbane area, I really recommend that you come and pop in here and say hi. We really need to support our local stores more, and at the same time, obviously, our local stores need to support us breeders as well. Anyway, let's. I'll grab a mask and then let's take a walk inside. All right, guys. I'm going to try and keep it down. But as you enter the shop, which is really awesome, obviously you've got your normal check-in and all your COVID requirements, but they've got this massive tank up here with some really big stuff in here. And as you walk in, it's a really stunning feature that you see first off. They've obviously done a water change on this morning because it's still quite early, but really, really nice feature as you walk in the store. Now what we're going to do is, as we walk in the store, we're going to go through some of the dry goods first. And then at the back we'll go to where all the fish are, and we'll spend a bit of time on that. But I want to take you through the dry goods because I think they've really got a good selection. So they've obviously got a whole lot of the backgrounds and stuff, as you can see. They've got a whole lot of aquariums in front of the store, but there's a lot more aquariums and equipment further down that I'll take you and show you as well. The other thing is they do stock a good variety of frozen foods. They've got a frozen foods fridge, and then next to it they've got a tank with a whole lot of cichlids in it, and there's some Malawians in there and so forth. You can see there's lots of little bits and pieces on the racks here. We've got little bits and pieces, you've got fittings and test tubes and so forth. The other thing that really impressed me as well was the fact is that they've got cans of brine shrimp, and they also keep those cans of brine shrimp in the fridge, which is really good. And a lot of in the freezer, a lot of the time you can't buy the big cans of brine shrimp, so that impressed me to see that. All right, let's go. All right, so they've got little boxes around where you can buy bits and pieces if you're doing a nano tank. Then they've got the bonsai setups that you can use in your tanks as well. And then they've got a good variety of rocks and stone to use in your aquariums. Now what I do like that you don't often see in many other stores is that they've actually got a scale on the one side. So a lot of the time you'd go and you'd grab a stone or something and you'd go, oh, geez, how much does this cost? And then you'd have to go to the front till and get them to weigh it for you. Here you don't have to. They've got the price on the shelf. You see the price, yep, it's $10.95 a kilo. You grab a piece, pop it on the scale, it gives you the weight, and you've got an idea of what you're going to pay for it. Here in the center, they've got some equipment standing on the floor, some Aqua One filters. They've got this little pond that looks really nice. It's got some goldfish in it. And then down this wall is just a whole lot of dry goods. And really, if you're looking for stuff to put in your aquarium, whether it be a 1,000-liter aquarium or whether it just be a Tanganyikan setup, or even, if you're doing marines, they don't stock marines, but if you're doing marines and you needed some high calcium rock, that kind of stuff you'll find here as well. So if you have a look down this wall, there's just all these dry goods, a really good selection of rock and stone. And of course on this side you've got your selection of gravels, your sands and your gravels, a really nice selection as well. The shop is really well maintained and looks in really good condition. You've got your LED lighting. There's lighting on the other side as well, but they've got some lighting down here. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to talk about pricing and those kind of things because I'm not an expert in that field. But really, just looking at some of this kind of stuff that I buy, the bits and pieces of wood and vine and so forth, I think it's really well priced. Excuse me. Then they've got a couple of these like nano type tanks standing around. They've got some of the better stuff. And then they've got a wall here with a whole lot of equipment on. If you're doing aquascaping, your trace elements and stuff, your plants, they've got all of that here. They've got the tweezers and so forth. Coming over, they've got some betters here in cups. And then they've got a couple of really, some of the nicer betters in these little better tank setups, which look really good. Little tiny filters in it, and well looked after. So that's really nice. If we come up this aisle, again, we've got a whole lot of aquariums up here. So, whether you do stuff like I do, the smaller stuff where you're using the 20 liters, they've got a whole lot of selection of those glass as well as acrylic. Then below that, they've got some tanks with plants in, really well maintained. It goes right through, and again at the bottom, they've got their gravels and their selections of substrates, the aqua soils and so forth down here. And on the other side of the aisle, you've got a selection of aquariums. Really nice, looks really good. Goes up, there's 1 or 2 here that are actually set up. This is really nice. That's got rainbow in, archer in, that looks like Brismani in there. This is a planted aquarium here. That's got some, put my glasses on, some cardinals in there. Okay, we come around. They've got the aquaculture plants here as well. I mean, there's really very little that you're not going to find in the store, to be quite honest, if you're starting out. And again, we come down, a whole lot of aquariums down on both sides here. Really nice looking. This is a system, looks like it's running CO2. It's planted, really good landscaping in it. Stunning aquarium. Come further down, some further options. On both sides, we've got options. Some really nice tanks. I like this, the rimless type tanks, looks really good. And again, some planted aquariums on this side, really stunning looking aquariums. So, hats off to the owners of the store. They've done an absolutely amazing job with what they've done with setting this all up. On this side, we've got some Tanganyikans, there's some Lulupi, it's built up on the side, Riccardi and so forth. Really looks good. We'll come across, we've got some more of the equipment. Things like here, you've got your filter wool that you can buy. Then you've got all your heating, all your heaters, you've got EIM, you've got Aqua One, you've got your cleaning stuff along the shelf, which is really good. You've got the internals for your filters. On this side, you've got, air pumps, you've got submersible pumps in here. There is just an absolute massive selection. And then you've got the food selection. They've also stocking, I think this is the product, which is now also another, this is an Australian product. So if you're out looking for some food for your fish, maybe give this product a try. If you're in Australia, it's good to support the Australian companies. But again, blackworm, artificial plants, if you enjoy that stuff, UV sterilizers up there for ponds and so forth. The shrimp foods, and a good variety of them as well. You don't often see that around. The other thing that I noticed that you don't often see in many of the places is the ability to buy sponge, just blocks of sponge, one off. If you're putting in your sump filter, you're doing a side filter, any of that kind of stuff, that's really good. And then again, just a massive selection of foods down here. You'd struggle to come in here and look for something and they don't have it on a shelf or they don't have it available. So that's all the food. On this side again, we've got some really good lighting. There's the Fluval lighting on here. There's the Fluval filters down here, my favorite, the FX6. They've got all the media that goes in the filters. Really awesome. Now, let's get to the fun stuff, guys. Let's go and have a look at some of the fish. All right, so this is the section where they keep their fish. And it's really, again, you look at the tanks are well set up, they're clean, they look really good. And I mean, last weekend when I came, it was the first time I'd been in the store, and, it was not like it had been prepared or I said, hey, I'm coming with a camera, and they made it all pretty before I got here. This is how it looked, so really, really impressive. If you look at this middle bank, and we'll go through the middle bank, let me just move across here. So you've got a good selection of goldfish. If you're into goldfish, there's a good selection of goldfish. You've got some live berries in here as well. You know, if you enjoy keeping the mollies and so forth, you can get those here. There's some danias in here as well. You know, a bit of an underrated fish, but I really like the danias as well. If we come across to this bank over here, right, we've got some of the South Americans. We've got some Cubans over there at the top. Coming down, we've got some Oscars. There's a variety of Oscars. And then right down at the bottom, we've got some Red Devils. Haven't seen them in that color pattern before. Right, coming across, what do we got here? We've got some Brazilianus in there. That looks like, yeah, earth eaters, or is that, yeah, that's Brazilianus in there. And then we've got some silver sharks on the other side. Moving across, they've got, which is really good to see, they've actually got a quarantine tank. They've got some fish in there that's been quarantined at the moment. And that looks like some peacock bass in there that's been quarantined. Then you've got, you know, your endler guppies, normal guppies. You've got some cats at the bottom. You've got some bronze cats. You've got some albino cats. A really good selection. You know, if you're looking for stuff to clean and run around the bottom. Coming across to this middle section here, they've got some koi sawtails in there. The koi sawtails. We've got some nice gouramis up at the top. Some honey dwarf gouramis. I'm probably going too quick for Aaron here. So we've got some honey dwarfs, then we've got the black widows up here. If you're into tetras, they're really nice. Can be a bit nippy, but really nice. Got some neon blue rams in here. At this size, probably a little bit more difficult to sex them, but it's good to see some rams around. Some balloon rams. Then we've got some long fin rams, really nice looking long fin rams, I must say. And above that, on this bank, we've got some tetras again. We've got lemon tetras, we've got ember tetras, and we've got red-eye tetras going across. Right at the bottom of this bank, you've got you know, some golden barbs. You've got some clown loaches in there. Clown loaches look really good. On this side, we've also got something that you don't see often, is albino cribs. You know, they come around every now and then, but you don't see them often in aquariums, or in stores being sold, so really nice. All right, coming across the next bank, we've got some, there's some apistos in here. Some reds, cacatoides. There's some Pandora in there. And at the top we've got some Serpa tetras. We've got some kissing gouramis up there, which is really nice. Further down we've got some more of the barbs. We've got some rosy barbs. We've got some albino sharks down there. Tanks on the side, some more gouramis. Really good looking gouramis. There's about 4 tanks here full of gouramis. Nice. Further up we've got emperor tetras. There's some diamond tetras, and then we've got some Colombians up there as well, and some black emperors up in this tank as well. Really, really good looking fish. Okay, so and now we come to some of the unusual stuff. Well, this tank's got something unusual, and I've never seen it before. So these little guys up here, I don't know if you can see my finger. That looks like a killifish variety, and based on the name as well, it's killifish. And also the half-beaks. I have never seen half-beaks in an aquarium store anywhere in Australia that I've been into, and I'm not saying I've been into tons of them, but I haven't seen. So really awesome to see that unusual stuff. You know, some more tetras in here. We've got, what do we got in here? Some cardinals in here as well. Tetras across the top. If we move across, we've got a lot more on this side. We've got some neons in this tank, got some small angelfish. You know, the neons look really good. Got some more clown loaches at the bottom. Looks like we've got some silver dollars down there. Right, coming across here, we've got some rice fish and some black cories. Really good. Nice to see that. Unusual. You don't see black cories around that often. Rice fish is one of those that comes and goes, but good to see some of that around. Some more angels up here. We've got some whitefin ornate tetras up there. All right, what have we got down at the bottom? We've got some more silver sharks down at the bottom. And then if we just flip straight over, we've got another bank here that's got some, stuff that you don't often see. There's some spotted blue eyes up here. There's some Pacific blue eyes on this side. Really good to see these unusual things. You look at this tank. It's got some small barrow in it. It's got some monos in there. We've got some bigger barrow on this side. What else have we got? We've got some silver perch down at the bottom here. Got some grunter. These are the kind of things you just don't see in most stores. Some catfish, which are really cool. And then of course you've got, some archer fish, and really nice size archers, and they're looking really good as well. Up here you've got some more rainbows. There's some delicate blue eyes up here as well, which are really nice. All right. Freshwater mussel. Okay, and what I want to do is we're going to go across the stand on the other side, and there's a bank there that's got a whole lot of stuff in as well. So let's go have a look. Before I get to that bank on the other side, on this side they've got, I don't want to call them nano tanks, but some smaller tanks. They've got some shrimps in here. There's a couple of potted plants in here. There was a whole lot of, last week there was a whole lot of pencil fish in here as well. Yeah, there we go, golden pencil fish in the back there. I think they're really nice as well. And then in here, this little top tank at the top here, they've got a whole lot of baby galaxy rasboras. And these little guys are stunning when they get big. I think really one of the prettiest fish around. Now if we come over to this side, we've got some Tanganyikans here. So some of my favorite, the Tropheus, really love them. Ideally suited for a larger aquarium, not for a small aquarium. We've got Tropheus, we've got some Lalupi. Again, you don't get to see a lot of these, and maybe Tanganyikans are making a bit of a resurgence again, but it's really good to see stuff like Lalupi. We come across, we've got some Julidochromis, Neolamproglis walteri in there as well. Unusual stuff. And then we've got a shell dweller I've never seen before, which are these little guys up here, which is Kelly, which I haven't seen before. So they really, unusual. And if you're looking for something different, then, those are the kind of things that you want to see. Some nice, nice Tanganyikans at the bottom. Transcriptus at the bottom, which is all part of your Tanganyikans. Tropheus de Boise up here, that's adults. And this is Tropheus de Boise when they're juvenile, so you can see the difference, with all the little dots on them. And the adults are these guys over here. All right. Then we've got some peacocks, so some of the Malawis. Here we've got some Compressiceps, Tanganyikans. We've got some more peacocks at the bottom. And again, you just don't get to see a lot of Tanganyikans in particular in a lot of the stores. So for me, it's awesome to come into a store and see a lot of this stuff. All right, so we've got some Reuben red peacocks up here, dragon bloods, Compressiceps there. Not the same as the other one, the Tanganyikan one. Right, again, Malawis. Yeah, we've got some Tanganyikan frontosa. This is 6-bar frontosa. You get 7-bar as well, and probably more, the rarer one of the two, the 7-bar. But good, again, to see frontosa. Red Empress, this is what they look like, and then once they get a little bit bigger, they get some more color. There's some Lambordi in here, Lambordi. And then, one of those underrated ones, Brichardi. They also just disappeared for a long time, and you couldn't, they just weren't in stores. And it's awesome to see a tank with a whole lot of Bacardi in them. So again, a whole lot of Malawis, electric yellows up there. And if you were looking at putting up a African tank, or you wanted to go either Tanganyika or Malawi, you would find a really good selection of Tanganyika in here. And if you wanted to go Malawi, you would find a really good selection of Malawis in here. If you had a big tank, you want to do a big community Malawi tank, you're not going to struggle in the store to find what you need, in all honesty. You could set up a really nice tank. They've got some big fish in here. If you had a lot of rocks in it, good filtration, added a couple of these in, it'll look really awesome. All right, and then just coming across to the last bank, some Jack Dempsey. Anybody knows Jack Dempsey knows that they can be absolute horrors, but really stunning looking fish. There's some flagtails up here, which are awesome. Again, stunning to see things like flagtails in a store. All right. Some more cichlids, a whole lot of catfish. There's some Synodontis cats down there, which is really good. Again, you don't get to see those often. And if you're looking for some of the, smaller loaches and so forth, clown loaches, smaller ones down here. There's some more red devils, again, particular to the kind of tank you're keeping. Some Texas cichlids as well. These are Texas here. And again, you want to be careful how you put your fish together. Anyway, guys, I've taken up a fair amount of time in the store, so we'll call it that. I'm going to have a look around. Oh, one more I want to show you. It's probably one of my favorites. Is the butchers. And they've got two different types in here. These are, I love them, absolutely love them. But again, if it can fit in its mouth, it's going to eat it. So, selection of tank mates and so forth for them is really, really critical. And also you want to make sure you got the right environment, because they're not going to be cheap to buy those kind of fish. All right, guys, that's probably it from me. We're going to call it that. I'm going to put my mask on, have a look at some fish for myself, and have a good week. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Look after yourself. And from Mad Aquatics till next weekend, Urban Fish Keeper out.